Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so you notice that my model right now is super low poly, and that's somewhat by design. I'm not sure why I didn't take all the boots, but anyway, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work through my maps, and I just exported some displacement to see if I can get this to work the way. Man, all the helicopters seem to come by when I'm trying to do something voice related. Hopefully you guys can't hear it too bad. Okay, so one of the things that's really interesting about exporting EXR displacement maps for from ZBrush is that it will not merge them together. So I have to go through and manually merge them together, which can be kind of a pain. So I just got to figure out, all right, so 1004, 1004, 1004. Cool. All right. Here's 1001. Okay, so 1001, 1002, 1003 will all be the same map. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, let's grab this DM. And let's go T underscore guy underscore, just to follow the naming convention of the rest of the textures. So there's one. There's two. Ooh, three looks like it's got extra things though. I didn't even think about that. Let's go ahead and we'll start with 3 then, and we will start, merging things in. Doing pretty well, Alex. How are you doing? Okay, there you can see, like, just barely you can see the red is where the displacement came from. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Let me see. What did I do with this? I should have done it like this. Let's do it like this. I'm going to go ahead and re-export that. Yeah, let's just do it all over again. Delete. Alright, now we can just go ahead and we're going to say create all maps. Alright. Saw your progress of it on ArtStation. The model's getting awesome. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, it's so much fun. I'm so excited for how it's turning out, and it's been quite a journey, but it's super exciting. It's always fun to see something come to fruition and come to completion in those sorts of ways. Not always easy to wait for it, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Let me see. It's pretty fun, and it's fun to see the other pieces take shape too. There are a lot of pieces that are like super amazing, and it's just blowing my mind. And I'm just like, oh man, my character's like in a theme of its own. It's like he's like in his own category. So that's something that I will. Yeah, it'll be kind of an interesting thing to see how. I guess how it stacks up in the end. Um, that's what scares me of ArtStation. Yeah, I don't know that I feel scared per se, but I mean it's certainly yeah, like you said, it keeps you going somehow. It's like it's inspirational too. So it's like while it is hard to see so much artwork and see stuff that's like oh my goodness, I could never do that. It's like at the same time you're kind of just like you know we got this. Yeah, just it kind of somehow propels you forward, and it's cool. I think more than anything, it gives me material, things to think about. Um, yeah, all sorts of interesting things. I really wish that it would go through and merge displacement maps. I think that would be so helpful. It's kind of interesting how it went through and returned the gloves to their um to their high poly state, but then everything else stayed low poly. All right, let's go check these out now, and we'll see. This should hopefully take all the images and make them more like this, where they're not um, where they're not red. Like it'll actually have the things worried about. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this. Control paste. 1002. Oh no. There we go. Okay, so now 1003 is where we want to start actually doing something about it. Okay. Yeah, that's probably it. All right, that's how we want it to turn out. That's awesome. Okay. So that's 1003. So we need the other 1003 level maps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be it, I think. Yep, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and drag all these on. Should be getting hair. Oh, I guess these are the eyelashes, gums. And it's very subtle like the all that's very subtle. So what I'm going to do, I need to be able to see all of them at the same time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to say lighten. Okay, that way I get all the lighter colors available, because that's going to be our displacement. Muy buenos días, señor Bardes. ¿Qué te pareció lo nuevo de ZBrush? Pues alcancé a ver un poquito de la presentación, pero pues no pude ver mucho porque tuve que trabajar. E igual hoy me toca trabajar un poquito hoy a las 12:30, algo así. Sí, a las 12:30. Así que ya veremos qué pasa. Veremos qué onda. Pues sí, de aquí podemos ir y seleccionarlo todo. Eso es muy molestoso. Mute, please. Control A, Control Shift C, Control Shift V. Para que tengamos todos en una sola etapa. Y ahí estamos bien. Tengo que... A ver si me deja. No, no me deja. Voy a tener que hacer export as. I need OpenEXR. I'm shocked at the new snake curve and mesh balloon, by the way. Yeah, the snake curve, like the alpha curve, that was cool to me. I did see that, and that was. I feel like that's going to be super helpful to me. I just want to make sure that I can get kind of ahead of the curve and be able to make like different hair brushes, because that's something that's going to be. I mean that's something that I've been selling for years, and that's something that's helpful and that a lot of people seem to like, and so I need to get on that before I can't. Hola. ¿Qué tal, Yi? No me está dejando. No me está dejando. Pero puedo guardar como PNG. Yeah, let's try it. Boo. T_guy DM. Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited for the alpha curve stuff. Especially since it pulls out like actual geometry, like clean topology and everything. That's a game changer. That is such a useful thing. Let me see. So since we did this, I'm going to have to take. Let's go ahead and make a new. We'll call this old. In fact, let's take the folder. Put a little underscore at the beginning, so that way it goes at the beginning. Didn't know who O'Fair was when he appeared, and Googled it and saw the guy, the founder of Pixelogic. So huge respect for. Yeah, he's the OG pixelator. He's really good. He's really good. He's insanely smart. Um, yeah, he's the original creator of ZBrush, so it's you know, he's got a huge programming background, artistic background, all sorts. And this looks like it should have the fingernails built in, and that's important to me. Yeah, it's got the fingernails built in, so that'll be cool. I will say we'll file, export, quick export as PNG because the layer name isn't the same as it should be. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it the manual way like that. Okay, let's grab 2, 1, put it in old. Now, oh, something interesting that I totally neglected to actually pay attention to. Let me pull open the PNG. So I mean, you can see over here on the face we have like this. That's not even nearly as smooth as the EXR. How much depth is there? Yeah, it changed it down to 8 bits. Dang it. Yeah, let's do this because I need the full depth of the image in order for this to really work. So here's what we're going to do. We need to figure out the fullness of it. So yeah, here's 32-bit depth and everything. You can see you get really nice smooth transitions from black, like true black, up to like this gray. You don't get any stepping or anything like that with the with all of this. One of the things that I was wanting to do, I want to make the face so that it's symmetrical, or at least symmetrical-ish. No, you know what? I'm just not going to have displacement for the body. I do need it for the hair. I do need it for the collar and the rest of the, like the clothing, articles of clothing, but I don't want it for the body. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm just going to make it so that it is 100% black. And then I'm going to say Control Save, Control Shift Save, and we'll go to Pass 5 and we'll just save this here. Okay, so that's the old one. Let's grab number 2. Same thing, Control L for the levels. Take the lights all the way down to the darks. Control Shift Save. Go up to Pass 5. So we should get this right here, which is great. Okay, so that's our first 2. Let's go ahead and get 3 going on. Okay, so there's 3. Let's go ahead and grab the rest of these. We'll deselect these and pull these over on top. I don't need displacement for the teeth. So this one might be as easy as just taking the hair and naming it to be number 3. Yeah, this is going to be as easy as taking this and just naming it as number 3. Because that's all I need right there is this piece right here. The rest of this can be done with normal maps. Well, I mean, you know, there are little things like, I don't know, there are little things that can be played with. The eyes can be handled with normal maps, so, you know, I'll worry about that separado. Yeah, and then I'll just take this normal map. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna work for me. So let's do this. I'm going to open up hair. Control Shift S. Control Paste. Back to Pass 5. And then for the let's go over here. Let's go ahead and say collar fluff. And then along with the collar fluff, there was also the like different clasps. So let's see, 04, there was like the belt buckle. I don't need the belt. I do need the belt buckle. Was there anything else for 04 that I needed? Vest clasps. Okay. Let's take these, turn these to lighten. Since these are the metallic pieces that have like some sculpting applied to them, you can see like there's a nice pattern there on the vest fluff. But then I've got some interesting like you know, some battering and some chipping and things like that applied to these spots. I've got some special noise applied to these areas. You know, so these little things will help us to really be able to feel the detail a little bit better. It'll help to break the plane a little bit better. I want to see, what is this one? Oh, okay. I don't need that one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say flatten image. And then hopefully this will let me Control Shift S. It looks like it's working. Control Paste. Okay, so far, let me go ahead and take these. I'm just going to throw them in there. Yeah, we'll just take them and throw them in there. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, anything with 04 on it now, I can just go ahead and throw it into the old folder. Except for this one, because that's the one that's actually going to be used. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5. Go ahead and open this up. Okay, 5 is going to have things that I'm going to need to use, but the pants are not one of them. So I'm going to take the rest of my 05s and stick them in there. I guess it's just the one, the shoes. The shoes do have things that I want to make sure to have in my displacement map. So what I'm going to do, let's do this. We're going to have lighten. We're going to have this full displacement map. merge down. Just save this. Okay, pass 5. Okay, so now we've got that. We've got that. What else do we need? Okay, let's grab 5 and 5. We'll throw them in there. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we need 6. And 6 has some interesting things to it. Let's go ahead and grab the apple. Apple a day keeps the dentist away. It really doesn't. I don't know why people say that. So just grab all of our 6s and throw them in there. One more. There we go. Lighten. Okay, so now we have all these EXR maps piled on top of each other the way that they're meant to be. We'll say flatten. Okay. Control Shift S. Control Paste. Save. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So we got all of our EXR texture files handled and ready. We've got normal maps here. Okay, which should be just, I mean, this normal map is just absolute garbage, so I'm not going to worry about using it, but we are going to use this one so we can get some you can see like it's got like the fingernails actually sculpted in. So I just wanted to kind of hint at fingernails. I didn't really want to have actual fingernails on this character. So it's really super simple. But yeah, it's going to be one of those things that's going to help to support the character a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this map on top of the other map to be able to make this work. So I'm going to say from ZBrush, we're going to go Final, and we are going to open up. Oh, I guess from ZBrush, it's actually right here. Huh. Is this a multi-UDIM workflow? It is indeed. It is indeed. I generated the normal maps actually in ZBrush. ZBrush is actually super awesome for normal maps and oh, excuse me. And the good thing about taking your normal maps outside of ZBrush or from ZBrush is that you don't have to worry about baking issues, where you would have to in something like Substance Painter or Marmoset or any other baking software, 3D Coat. Yeah, it's nifty. Let me see, 1003, 1004. What did I need? I needed to go to the hands. So let's go to the normal map, open that up, and then I'm going to bring in pass 5, 02. Okay, I just need to check and make sure that it's not like, well, it is kind of, no, it's working, it's working. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this map, and I just want to turn on a layer mask, and we're going to invert it so that it's not showing. Or actually, let's not do it like that. We're going to do it like this, where we're going to use, let's use a soft round brush, boost the size of this quite a bit. Something like that could work. Okay, and then I'm just going to paint out the fingernails. 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Okay, that should be the only thing that I need from this map. So I'm just going to go ahead, invert that map now, and now I've got the fingernails on the map. Yes. Yeah, so UDIMs are kind of interesting. I mean, it's all about naming conventions, and it's all about yeah, just kind of knowing where you stacked your assets, like you're saying. One of the things that I've been trying to it can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes, because one of the things that'll happen is that it will go ahead and sometimes it wants to work really nicely, sometimes it doesn't, but I don't know, whatever. It's one of those things that you kind of just have to work through. Quick export as a PNG, final, save, replace. Okay. Is there anything else that I needed to replace? I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a matter of, I can take these EXRs, and I'm just going to say Control, let's say Control X. And then we'll come over from ZBrush, we'll take it over into Final, so that way it's in the same folder as everything else. There we go. So now we've got our displacement maps in there, which is great. Let me do this now for the other. Oh, and I also need to take the glasses over into Maya. Okay, so here's my ground plane. I want to get the displacement map from this as well. I shouldn't have to worry about merging maps or anything like that. It should be fine. Smooth UVs should be good. Okay, 3 channels. Awesome. Awesome. Righteous. Okay, let's go ahead and just do this. Pass 5. Sweet. Alright, says it's done. So let's go check it out. Photoshop. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my maps that I have prioritized. And then let's just go ahead and save that. I can close that EXR right there. And then let's come over here, go to pass 5. Open that bad boy up. Oh, that looks so good. All right. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I love a good displacement map. It's so nice. Okay, so we've got this. Okay, I am going to say Control Shift S. Control T guy DM. Let's come over here and save it right in here. All right. Okay. Now comes moment of truth. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we can get these things plugged in and working. Because I've actually never plugged in displacement maps inside of Arnold, but they're just general basic principles that I think we should be able to get it figured out without a problem. So here's what we're going to do. We will open up recent files, guy posed 05. Okay, so here's our character. I'm thinking that I might actually take this this piece right here and make it so that it is its own texture, so that I don't have to worry about any kind of extra, UDIM workflow or whatever for it. So I'm just going to say assign new texture, Arnold shader AI standard surface, and we're going to call this ground plane. Oh, ground plane. Sorry, underscore matte. Bring that all the way up. For the color, I want to make sure that this is file. And thanks, Thinking Black. I'm glad it's helpful for you. Let's see. Let's go over to our from ZBrush final, and then we'll go down to our diffuse, which would be 7. There we go. It's the right diffuse map right there. Okay, so now we've got that applied. And in fact, we could even go through and do the same thing for this. We have the assign existing material. We're going to say base matte. No, not base matte, sorry. It's assign existing material, ground plane matte. So now if we turn on 6, we should be able to see the color coming through. We're having some issues with the color for the character, but that's because he's on a UDIM basis and there are other things applied to him. So yeah, we're going to have this worked out eventually. Let's go ahead. I'm going to take the metalness and I'm going to apply a file. And this file is going to be applied, I'm going to take the different channels and apply it differently. So what we're going to do, we're going to open up our Hypershade, ground plane matte. Okay, metalness will be this blue channel. Oh shoot, not that. Come on. There we go. Specular, and then the green channel is roughness. Specular roughness, there we go. Okay, so for file 7, we're going to come in here. Let's grab our mask file. Oh, not 6, 5, 7. Get the right one there. Okay, we should see some changes here. Awesome. Although the roughness isn't nearly what I would like to see. Might have to go through and kind of boost that some. Or let's try changing it to raw. Let's see what that does for us. Yeah, that's much better. That's more what I was hoping to see. Okay. So it's just a color space sampling. Change that from sRGB to raw. Okay. Now let's go ahead. Let's get back into this. We'll come down to geometry, and for bump mapping, I'm just going to select this. We'll get a file. Okay. Over here, use as tangent space normals. Select the file. Come over, image name. Need to go down to the ends. We'll grab, should be 7. Yep, 7. All right, so now we're getting some bump mapping in there, which is awesome. Although it seems like it's ignoring our our other map here now, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know. It might be different inside a render. We'll have to wait and see what it's like when we hit render. But we'll check it out. A while back, you merged down a few layers. I assume it was a specular map for genes. Can Maya still read those merged layers as individual layers? If they're merged, no. But one of the things, so what I was doing is I had, let me see, let's bring this in. So essentially what I was doing is I had, let's see, pants, alphabetical order. What is it? Pants, there we go. So I've got the pants, and then I can go in here and I can say, you know, this is 05, so I can bring in my other 05 maps, if I can find any. Yeah, there's 05. No, I thought there was another one for some reason, but yeah, so bring in this these shoes. Okay, now right now the shoes layer is blocking out the pants layer, and I need it to be able to read through. So I went ahead and I changed this layer to lighten, so that anything that's lighter than absolute black is going to get this. It's going to get, you know, lighter. so you can take that, then you can merge it down, and then you can save this as a map, and it'll allow you to go through and read that, you know, as you need to. It's really simple, but yeah, definitely something that's super worth. In fact, that's something that I need to go through and do. I'm going to bring in the displacement for that. Oh, let's go back. Final displacement map. Was it 6 or was it 7? It was 7. I'm just going to click and drag that onto here. Come on, I know you want it. Yeah, maybe what I need to do instead, hit tab, and we'll say file, texture. Okay, so now we have this set up. What we want to do is we want to select the file, we'll select the image name, and we'll just do the same thing. So we'll just come over here to the displacement map 07, hit OK. Okay, and then out color, I'm going to drag it up here to here because we don't have a displacement option here to be able to drag it into. So you drag it in up over here, other, and I should be able to get this to work. Let's see. Surface color, matte color, ground plane matte. Interesting. Let's see if we can figure this out. Because this is part of what I wanted to explore today, was getting displacement to work inside of Arnold. Yeah, I'm going to drag this off onto my other screen actually. Let me see, we'll grab this. Just to see kind of how that's looking with the lighting and everything. Definitely looks very glossy. The roughness definitely got like unhitched. Oh, and I bet what it was. Let's go ahead. Let's go in here, and we're going to turn from. Let's try actually turning it back to sRGB. And that looks much more predictable, I think. I mean, it's not exactly what I want, but more predictable. So we'll call that good for now. Okay, let's just turn it back to 5. All right. Okay, so the thing we want to do is we want to take this, and we're going to explore some. me see. Matte. Sheen, emission, subsurface, transmission, base spectrum, extra attributes. How do we get... I mean, I would think that it would be underneath geometry, but there's obviously nothing here for geometry, which is kind of a pain. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to look it up, because I'm very interested in knowing what this needs to be. So I'm going to have the video up on the other screen. I bet, in fact, here's what I could do. I can go ahead and I can turn on desktop sound so you can hear the video. And I'll just kind of work through it. Interesting. I think, let me see. Displacement in Arnold.
Is you don't want to disturb the window at map generation. Let's say the final render, which is what we're going to get in the end here. Let's look at, first we do this, let's look at the UVs in Maya. So here we have the UVs for this guy. So this is laid out over multiple UDIMs here. So this is, we know this is not the ideal way of putting it, like, you know, the head is here and then the teeth are all the way over here. The reason here is simply because there was a map created from the model. The nice thing about having your midpoint be gray or 50% gray is that it's easier to tweak in 2D afterwards. Yes. So you could also have a midpoint of 0, and if you're working with 32-bit displacement map, that allows you to go to, you know, below 0. Yeah. So, but for these purposes, we're using a midpoint of 0.5. Yeah. If it's set to
for those of you who are interested in kind of seeing what that looks like, they have this gray map with, you know, theirs looks different from mine. So I mean, I may have to go back and kind of experiment and see, but
0 is just going to look pretty much complete to black.
Is like how they apply it.
Put some highlights here, but now you can actually see what's going on. You can see with the faces. This means maps. This is
skipping through a little bit.
Level, and right, it says that you will get better results by setting it to 0 with 32-bit, but that shouldn't really make any difference seeing as it's a floating point. So 0.5 should give you the same, because then you can still just go down to 0. Yeah, exactly. So the difference here between...
Interesting.
And there's not really a whole lot of point. The complexity of your mesh and... So I just prefer to rename this as disp dot the name. See, this is where you can, if you wait with renaming the last one there, if you... Different rocks, and every single rock disable subgroups here. Shadow Moon. Yeah, we had to find some names for it because before it was just called Render 10, Render 11. Shadow Moon was cool. Yeah, pretty cool. So we've essentially just put it in here, put it on the character group. This works with, you know, you don't have to use this setup here. You can just put this into an empty Maya scene and just render here. This is just already pre-made or pre-set up for you. And then we take the entire thing here, the entire group, and we're just gonna assign. Actually, let's only do for the head and the teeth, because these are the only ones with a map. So we assign, I've set this to favorite material. This is the AI standard surface. You can also just go to new material and go to Arnold and AI standard surface for this. So I'm pretty strict when it comes to naming my materials. I'm going to call this body teeth underscore shader. This is just so you can identify all your shaders early on. I'm also just going to set the roughness a bit up, because right now you can see here it's a bit sharp. I want this to be a bit broader, so something like this. So the way we set up our displacement for this now is by going under, click on this guy here, and now we under the shading group we have a slot here called the displacement material. What you want to do here is you want to plug in a file node. Where you just click it, select a completely regular file node,
Okay, so this is where I'll be able to finally start doing it myself, and you guys can follow along from that. Is that Ian? Is that Sir Ian? Sir Ian, Sir Ian, Sir Ian, Sir Ian. Gandalf, you shall not pass. Yeah, it's such a funny little clip. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's super good. It's so good. Anyway, so I'll go ahead. I'll do that. So we need to go ahead and grab the. Where is my Hypershade? Oh, it is pulled up. I was like, where is it? I don't see it. Okay. So we got our material here. Okay, so what we need essentially it's digging into this. Okay, the displacement material. Okay, so it says to grab the file. Okay.
And under the displacement amount, you just click on the little guy here, and here you select your maps. So this was.
Hold on.
And here you select displacement amount. You just click on the little guy here, and here you select your maps.
Okay.
So this was
So we'll go back over
to new maps here, and now we just select one of these. So this is as a sequence here, but you only have to select one, which is incredibly handy. Like if you have 1,000 maps here, you still only select one here. Disable filtering, because this is just going to smooth it a little, and then we set the UV tiling mode to UDIM. This is the secret to dealing with UDIMs in Maya. This little guy here. You can now see that this now has replaced this with UDIM, the UDIM tag here.
You go through this UV tiling mode and you change this to UDIMs, which is what I did for my other texture maps. But since this is something that I'm dealing with just as a single, one-off map, I'm not going to worry about it. But essentially, you go through, you click on that, and it'll change your naming conventions here. I'm just going to change this to actually let's just Control Z, UV tiling mode off. Okay, filter is off. Okay, cool.
So now whatever coordinate was here, which is like 1001, 1002, etc., it's going to read perfectly fine. So
space right there.
This is now going to read all the UDIMs without any issue whatsoever. And then the second thing we have to do is we now currently plugged in a displacement map, but we haven't really told the mesh what to do. If we were to render this right now, it would just still be an incredibly low-res result, which would just be displaced, so nothing would really happen. What we have to do is we have to go to the shape node of this, and under Arnold, so shape node, that's the second one here, you have the transform node and the shape node. And then we go to Arnold, and then we go to all the way down here, we have subdivision. Under type, we now have to set this to Catmull Clark, or to Cat Clark. And now we set the subdivision here is how many times do you want this to be smooth. Set to 1, it's going to smooth once. Set this to something like 3. That's going to give us enough resolution for this. Ideally, you want to have this as many times as it's been subdivided in ZBrush, but we're going to use a feature here called Auto Bump, which means we don't have to. The Auto Bump feature is essentially going to put the stuff it can't displace into the bump map, so you get an incredibly crisp result.
That's super cool. That's such a cool feature.
Yeah, it's really nice. So set this to how many times you want to displace this to, how many times you want to smooth it. Set this to Catmull Clark. Set this to auto bump, and then we have to enable one more thing here. So we remember how we set the mid value to 0.5. This means that we have to change the mid value here to 0.5 as well. This is the bounds padding.
So if you're just exporting out your map at 0, then it'll be fine.
Then you'll be fine. So here we, instead of setting it to 0.5, we got to set it to minus 0.5. And we got to do this for all the object which has a displacement map to it. So 0.5, enable auto bump, set this here to Catmull Clark, and then we set this here to 2 or 3, and then we are ready to render. So this is what it currently looks like. This is with the displacement map setup with
Okay, so here we're going to try this, and we're going to see how this looks. let me see. I do want to check on something though, because this does kind of bother me how it's not like my material is not, it doesn't feel like it's working quite how I was, maybe it is. Maybe it's just that it's too metallic or something. I don't know. It's just too glossy, and that's the thing that's kind of hard for me. So what I might do, let's go ahead. I'm going to Graph Network, and let's grab these and kind of rearrange them. I hate that it goes through and organizes these things in this way because it drives me nuts. Anyway, so I want color. Not color profile. What's color correct? There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to play with this a little bit. So roughness, actually with the specular, I want to go ahead and take the specular. We're going to say alpha multiply. Okay. Actually, let's try taking this into like the input, and then we're going to say color profile. I think right here. Maybe not. Actually, what's the node with it? What's the node that I'm looking for? Let's try blend colors. I think that'll get me what I need. Let's grab this, delete it. We'll bring the specular into color. Oh crap! Come on, open it up. Bring this into color 1 right there, like that. Okay, and then color 2. What I want to do is I want to take this, and I don't want it to be blue, but I also don't want it to be black. Essentially what I want to do, I just want to take this so that it's, you know, just a little bit less, and then I can take the output and put this into I'm supposed to be able to, here, come on, take the red, put that out into specular. And that doesn't seem like it's doing diddly squat. Let's try the same thing for roughness. Let's play with this. Let's say out G goes into color 1G, and then output G goes into roughness. Interesting. I'm going to have to do a different one for roughness, it looks like. But let's go ahead and close that down. Color blend, where is it? Oh, blend colors. Duh. Okay, take this all the way down to black. Oh, sorry. Yeah, take this all the way down to black. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take this for color 1. Let's take the green into the green. We'll say for output, we'll take green up to specular roughness. Okay, so you can see this is what we're getting so far. So now in order to clamp this, we're going to have to take this and say, you know, blend it more or less in whatever direction. So you can see we're getting much more roughness to our, you know, if we slide this back the other way, you can see it's getting glossier. So take it up in that direction. And you know what, I might try something with the metallic too. I wonder if the metallic, like if I were to clamp that down at all. Okay, just kind of put them in order. Blend colors. Let's get the blue for the metallic. Output blue, put that into metalness. Super, super shiny. Okay, so Let's take that all the way down. Take this all the way down. You can see that got rid of all the metalness. I do want it to have some. I don't want it to have a ton, but I do want it to have some. Let me see this specular. If I take it up higher, it should be affecting something. Doesn't look like it's affecting anything really. Let's go ahead and take this, make it so that it's just kind of playing with those sliders a little bit to get the look that I'm wanting. So far it still feels a little bit too much like plastic though. So I'm just going to play with this until I get more of the look that I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and take the metalness and we'll just kind of boost this to, oh, that's interesting. That got super, super glassy, but it's also looking super metallic. Okay, so we want this to be really, really low because we do want it to be there. We just don't want it to be. It's interesting. The blender doesn't even seem to be doing anything. Yeah, so we'll do something like that, which I think is looking pretty cool. I mean, that's getting some nice effects there. Okay, we've got the displacement shader plugged in. You can see that it's filled in. So let's hit save so we don't lose anything. And then let's go ahead and we'll work on that guy material. I'm hoping to be able to kind of work out this this shader a little bit real quick, and then be able to do a render so you can see what I'm working on there, Ian. We'll do the same thing with this with the characters shader here. Okay, so the displacement, we came into here, came in to select the image name. The daycare in the back just let everybody out, it looks like. The displacement, so let's go ahead and select that. Say OK. Okay, so now we've got that in there. Tiling mode, we need to set that to UDIM. Okay, should be good. Okay, now we need to come back like they were talking about. They said that we need to come in here and actually turn things on. So there was like he said, let me see, was there anything before we got down to that? I think everything was just, you know, down to Arnold. You need to scroll down to, you don't need exports open or anything like that. We do need the type to be set to Catmull Clark. Iterations, they said set it to 3. And then they said, you know, that should be fine for what we needed. And then enable auto bumping. Okay. I need to do the same thing for these in here. So we need to go subdivision, Catmull Clark. We'll hit 3. And then we'll say enable auto bumping. Grab the shoes. Cat Clark. 3. Enable auto bumping. The trousers. Catmull Clark. 3. We're going to have this like super ingrained in our heads by the time we're done. So Catmull Clark 3. Enable auto bumping. I'll do the same thing with the gloves. Catmull Clark 3. Auto bump. And I don't know if there's really anything else. We'll go through. We'll do the same thing for some of these other pieces, just so that we. I don't know that I want to go through the process of doing all the pieces, but there are some of these pieces. Anything that I had some actual like serious sculpting on, like the belt buckle, these clasps right here. I'm going to want to turn those on to all of this. This little insert piece in here. Let's go ahead and kind of frame in on this. These little pieces that are inserts. It's got a little bit zigzaggy, but I don't know. I don't know that I'll care about it too much. If I do, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I've already got that set. Let's get this one set. This will probably slow down my render time quite a lot, but enable auto bump. And I did already get this, right? Yes. And I already got the hair. Yes. Somebody sounds like they're less than happy. 3, enable auto bump. And yeah, we'll do the same thing for the body. Cat McClark. 3, enable auto bump. I think really that took care of most everything. Let's do the same thing for the yeah, so just so that you're aware, Catmull Clark, yeah, Captain Clark, Catmull, Catmul, Clark. It's I'm pretty sure it's either one person or a pair of people from the University of Utah that are responsible for inventing subdivisions, essentially. like they're a pretty big deal. If you look them up, yeah, they have high ties to Pixar, all sorts of things. Really, really neat stuff. So yeah, let me see. I'm going to go ahead. Let's go to our bookmarks. Let's go to this final render frame here. Now I'm going to hit render. The stream sometimes goes a little bit crazy when I do. So just so that you're aware, I'm not dumping you. So let's go ahead and pull this up. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's hit save. So we have, okay, no changes left to save. That means we already saved. It's just like sometimes I get nervous, right? Let's see how this goes. And I might take a water break.